marketing, which is something every author has got to do at some point, whether it's query letters or pitching at conferences to agents and editors or selling those books that you've already published. Marketing is often a writer's least favorite professional activity. It's the part of the writing game they do not enjoy. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And it's why I will sometimes teach a class called Fearless Marketing about how to sort of get over our uh, objections to this activity. But I want to just talk about it a little bit today. It's a longer class, longer than one of these podcasts is. But let me just say two things that I think could be helpful to anyone who is approaching the marketing side of the writing game. And the first is this. If writing has taught me anything, it's taught me a lot. But one of the things it has definitely taught me is that I can't do anything well if I don't enjoy doing it. I can't do anything well if I think it's a waste of time, if I think it's beneath me, if I think it's boring, if I think it's hard. I will never do it well. And so the first thing you have to do if you want to market is you have to understand that you've got to enjoy it. And I think this can be hard for writers because, the marketing feels a bit more like the grown-up businessy part of this game. And, the writing itself, while we take it seriously and we learn our craft, there is an element of play to it since we're making stuff up, or even if we're doing memoir like me, I'm telling stories, which is just something I like to do. But marketing, well, no, that's business. That's the job. And there is a tendency sometimes when we get serious to drain the fun out of it. Don't do it. You got to find the part of it that you enjoy. You have to find a way to be creative with it and to be playful with it in some way. And one of the ways to do that, I think, is to understand that as a writer, when you market your work, you're really just inviting readers or agents and editors into a conversation. That's it. You're offering them a chance to have a conversation, and your book is a specific kind of conversation. So, for instance, this podcast is an extension of the books I've written, right? Within Yourself and Fearless Writing and Everyone Has What It Takes. These are all books for writers, but books that focus on the emotional and psychological challenges of writing rather than the craft. That's the conversation I want to have about writing for the most part. When I go to conferences, yeah, sometimes I'll teach how to write memoir, but I always want to teach about procrastination, about getting over fear, about self-doubt. That's the conversation I want to have. But I just came from a conference and there was a lot of classes that were about the craft and business of writing. Different conversation. That's not the conversation I want. And so ask yourself, what is the conversation I want to have? It doesn't matter. You don't have to be writing nonfiction like me. You could be writing fiction as a conversation. And high fantasy is one conversation. Gritty fantasy is another conversation. Romance, sexy romance, Christian romance, historical romance. All these are different kind of conversation. As writers, we always leave room for the reader's imagination. And so that when the reader fills in all the details that we can't supply, because we can't give everything, we got to leave just enough to allow the reader's imagination to come in. When they do that, they're participating in the conversation. And this way, you're not selling anything. I don't like to sell anything, but I do want to invite people to join me in something that I love to do. And if you can start looking at it as a conversation, it's a conversation you want to have, and you would like to find other people to have it with. Now this is interesting, isn't it? Now this is a little more fun. Now this isn't about trying to convince anyone of anything, but simply offering something and finding the best way to describe what it is you're offering so that all those people, those agents, editors, and readers, they can make up their own mind, which is what you do anyway. And then when they join you, now you're having a little fun. Now it's enjoyable. Now it's not just work. Yeah, that's how it works. Enjoy yourself. Stay creative. Offer a conversation. Yeah, there's a lot of how-tos, and do you use book talk and Instagram and book tours and websites and all that stuff. And it's fine. You can learn all that stuff. But at core, you've got to have fun. You got to offer a conversation. You got to be creative. You got to enjoy it, or else don't bother. Because what are we here for, huh? We're not here just to work. We're here to enjoy ourselves. That's why people read books. to enjoy themselves. And that's why you write them, and that's why you share them. Yes, you do. Hey, thanks for tuning in. As always, if you like it, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you like it, say so. Say so. I want to hear from you. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.